So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be melting down some pewter and pewter items that I got at a garage sale this last weekend. I actually got quite a few pieces that were pewter or pewter-like at the sale. I got all of it for $5, so it was pretty cheap. And my plan, like, why are you going to melt this down, Kelly? Couple things. So I want to make my own chess set. I'm not ready to make it right now. I'm going to acquire more pewter. And then when I'm ready, then I'm gonna get the molds for the chess set and work on it, make my own chess set. But with pewter, the older pieces, like some of these are a lot older pieces, they are combined with lead before they knew that lead was really bad for you. And actually a lot of sailors and colonial people died of lead poisoning from using their pewter. When they were drinking out of it and using it for eating utensils and such. And since I'm not exactly sure what's in a lot of this, rather than keeping the items that are just going to take up space, I'm going to melt them down into ingot. And ingot is just another word for, you know, when you see gold bars or silver bars, it's just a metal bar of some sort. It condenses it, makes it easier to store. And if you want to sell it to somebody, people buy ingots of different types of metals to make items that they're going to make, especially popular in if you're going to be casting and making new bullets and things like that. So a pewter that I know is going to be something I can melt down here in the house, and something that might be mixed with something. Now, all pewters are mixed. They're like 90% tin and then 10% something else. And sometimes it's higher percentage of tin, but the more malleable that it is, the more that you can bend it and move it with your hands, the more likely that there's not lead in it, or not a high amount of lead in it. And so these ones here, let me bring it up close so you can see. Watch how with this piece here, how I can, with my fingers, I can bend this in. Okay, that's pretty pliable. So that one I feel pretty good about. If I go here, where even though it's got on the bottom here, it's got the mark, little eagle mark here, and says pewter and all that, it is not malleable at all. And this is actually a porridge pot. Hold it here, and you would eat your porridge or any other food or liquid out of it, and they would actually even use this as a measurement, and that's what this is for. And then you would hang it up by this piece. But considering, you know, it's not malleable, I have no idea what's in it. My guess is that there is a large amount of lead. I'm not gonna melt this down in my house, and I'll wait till I can do it over a hot forge where the temperature will have to get a lot hotter. Same thing with this piece here. They all say that they're pewter, and they are pewter. It's just that they have a higher percentage of other things in it besides tin. And these are these pieces here are kind of deemed to be mostly tin, with the exception of this little piece on the end here, which with my gloves on I might try to break that off. But I've got some other heavier pieces here that I'll wait till I can do that outside over my forge. Pretty simple project to do inside. I'm still gonna make sure that I have some safety precautions. It's just good to be in a habit of doing that anyways. I'm gonna have my door open, so I have plenty of ventilation. I'm gonna wear my goggles, safety goggles. I'm gonna have my gloves for some of it that I need to. And I'm gonna be doing this just on my stovetop. Tin melts at a lower temperature than many metals or most metals, and so it's something you can do inside. You want to make sure you don't get it too hot. It oxidizes, and you don't want that. And we're just going to be using a regular muffin pan to make my ingots right now. You can get molds, you can make molds. There's a million different things you can do. Silicone molds can work as well. And eventually when I make my chess set, I'm going to start off using silicone molds. And if that doesn't work, then I'm just gonna do sand casting. Let's get started. Okay, one of the first things that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my burner here onto the highest level that I can and get my pan kind of heated up to kind of get it started here. And I've got a pan that doesn't have Teflon in the inside, which is really important not to have Teflon. And I'm gonna start by just putting in one of my first items here, and we'll just kind of sit and kind of use that as our gauge of how it's gonna melt down. Now on the top of this, as it melts, there's gonna be some kind of scummy stuff up there, okay, called sludge. And then I'm gonna use the wooden part of this just to kind of scrape that part up, and then the super shiny liquidy part is what we ideally want to get to pour into our muffin pan ingot, what do you call it? Ingot mold. So we're just gonna let that melt down. And it's gonna take a little bit for this pan to heat up enough. Once this pitcher melts down, then we'll go ahead and, ooh, that's going really fast. Look at that. That's really cool. Let's get the camera up here. You see that in there? Okay. Look at that go. That is so fun. See how that's really shiny and the stuff that's not shiny. Okay. You see that beautiful bright silver? One. Okay, on this trivet, I wasn't too sure if this piece here was different because it's thicker. So you can get tin snips out and take it off that way, but I think I'll just melt it down to this part. Yeah, I'll just melt it down. I've got some tongs here, but vice grips work till you get the tools that you need. Sometimes it's kind of fun just to kind of start in on things before you have everything to see if you're even gonna like it. Like, do you find this enjoyable? I do, but somebody else might be like, that was not worth my time. Don't invest too much into it. Yeah, that's nothing down there real good. Show you how they look. So you can see this one is pretty solid in there, but these ones here are still pretty liquidy. They have to cool yet. They cool pretty quick. This one here. That one's done. This is the one I'm a little bit worried about right back there, so we'll wait another little bit. And also, so I use just this old pan that, like I said, did not have Teflon on it to use as my crucible. So your crucible is the melting pot. And normally, like if you're really doing metal melting, you have a dedicated crucible that's made of like cast iron or something that can handle really high heats for the other metals. And they come in a variety of different sizes. They even have like crucibles that are just like a ladle. and then you use your blowtorch, you put in your forge, your crucible, and then you just do little bits at a time. But anyways, in lieu of actual crucible, I use this old pan. Okay, I'm super impatient. Welcome to my world. And so I'm gonna see if this is very heavy. Wow, that is heavy. Holy cow. It's still quite warm on the bottom there. Let's see if these are ready to pop out or not. Or if they'll pop out, or if I'll have to work on it. I guess we'll go like this. There we go. All right. So they popped out here. Let's look at, wow, that's got some weight to it. So here's the very first one here. And it's gonna be a lot easier to store them like this. Ooh, that's still quite hot. Oh, there's a hole in my glove. Anyways, it's gonna be a lot easier to store them like this to use later to make my chess set than to store them any other way. So there you go.